see enough ads for it. That's Richard Marks. He's on The Voice.
Okay.
See, would probably been before your time, Lorna, wouldn't he? Come on, you wouldn't remember Richard Marks now, would you?
I probably look younger than I am.
I wish I could say the same for me. Okay, we got Lorna Buchan. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. Yep.
You're running for the mayor of... if we say mayor, should it not be mayoress? I don't know about that.
No, a female mayor is a mayor.
Oh, really?
Yes. And if you have a male mayor, then there's a lady mayoress, but there's no equivalent for a lady mayor.
Is there really?
Mm.
Well, there you go. See, I walk away after today's shift and I've already learnt something.
Yeah, that's what I say all the time. That's my work done if I've learnt one thing a day.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, so I've got a couple of things here. What are the, if you are elected, what are the three biggest things you'd like to implement, Lorna?
Well, I've been out on the streets and in the markets and, knocking at people's doors, and I'm hearing an awful lot about the foreshore area. That's something that comes up time and time again. People want to spend more time at the foreshore, and to be able to do that, they would like some bigger and better parks. They would like more parking. And they obviously are not happy with the way Railway Terrace and Kent Street look at the moment.
In regards to?
The derelict buildings and the empty buildings, going all the way up to the traffic lights at the old garage and along Kent Street. There's quite a bit of work being done at the old Rockingham Hotel site.
Yes, there is. Yes.
Yes.
Do you know what is going on with that site at all?
Yeah,
no?
The developers or owners of that land are in discussions with our planning team. That's quite a long process where they discuss the development, and obviously our staff go back and forth and they try to knock it into shape that's something that will be appealing and that's something that we will be able to approve. And that ultimately will get good feedback from the public. So that's ongoing at the moment. It's what they call pre-lodgement discussion.
Oh, okay.
And then hopefully we'll get a development application very soon. And I know that every member of council is really looking forward to seeing something being built on that site.
You mentioned, and it's, as I say, I quite often frequent the foreshore there, and I think you just in that chat there you mentioned parking.
Yes.
How do you think that could be improved, the parking there?
So the city has grown massively in the last 10 years. And the pressure on parking is becoming, more and more.
Yeah.
What isn't growing is the foreshore area. The number of parking spots that are available.
Correct.
So there's more and more people chasing the same number of spaces.
Yes.
So what we're going to have to do is find some area, and I would like to see a multi-deck car park in that area. And that is, where we're heading is going up. That's the same for, the housing types as well in that area, is to, go up, not out. So.
Well, you would, again, I'm not just saying any council got it right, wrong and different, but if we look at Fremantle, which obviously has trouble parking, they've got at least, I think, a couple or at least one multi-storey car park.
Yeah, but I'm not sure who would build that and who would operate it. Would that be a city thing, or would we just incentivise that? And the other thing is the City of Rockingham ready for paid parking?
Isn't that the crunch? Like, like in countries throughout the world, or even in places like Melbourne, etc., beach parking, sadly as it is now paid for, and I just wonder, in the the fullness of time, whether that will come, and it's not.
There's no decisions made, and there's obviously no plans at the moment. But these are the things that we're going to have to tackle. I think so in the near future.
Yep, I do. Everything. Everything comes at a cost, doesn't it? In this world, but people don't want to pay. Funny enough, Lorna, I was chatting to somebody about the roads, and people say, oh, it's busy. This, yes, there's more cars, but then I turn around and say, but you realise in Melbourne or Sydney, you're probably paying up to $100 a week in tolls.
Yeah. Well, we haven't got.
That's what I mean.
yet.
So I think sometimes we should be thankful for what we have when we have it.
I mean, I'm quite happy to park sort of behind the museum or behind the Gary Holland Centre and walk down. It's a 2-minute walk, and it actually takes me past a lot of shops, and I spend money I shouldn't. But
That's
I
true,
love
though.
those little gift shops down there.
Yeah.
But I'm hearing that there aren't enough disabled, bays for those kind of things. So these are things that obviously we can bring forward and review and can take a look at. So that's probably one of the major things for anyone who's elected mayor for the next 4 years to focus on. The other ones are our infrastructure plan. We do have a community infrastructure plan that is laid out for the next 10 years. And one of the facilities is Aquajetti, which is desperately needing a revamp. There is so much pressure on pool space there, so we're planning on putting in another 50-metre pool.
Wow.
Just to cope with the amount of people who want to do lane swimming, lane walking, swimming lessons, and the gym, is packed out there. We have a gym membership too.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, wow, I didn't realise it was that busy. I knew it was busy, but not that busy.
We did have plans to redevelop a couple of years ago, but the construction market was just so hot that the prices that we were getting in, they were just astronomical.
Jeez.
So we decided to shelve that for a couple of years to try and, let the thing cool down a bit so that we can get best value for money for all your rates.
And the thing is too, Lorna, I would think that with AUKUS coming, and that's going to be thousands, I would have thought, of extra people, it's going to put more pressure on.
Yeah, it definitely will. And there's quite an exciting development down in Safety Bay at the old yacht club. So the yacht club over the last few years has been mainly used as more of a community centre.
Yeah.
So the yacht club have given the keys back to the city of Rockingham.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah. So we have plans, and next year we'll be knocking down the old building, and in its place will be a brand new community facility with a cafe, new toilet block, more parking, and possibly some area for children, youth, like a skate park or something like that. That's what the community have told us as part of our master planning.
Jeez.
But obviously, that was just concepts. And then when we get into the detailed stuff, the city staff will come out and have a much more in-depth consultation with the people that live in that area. But that is a $25 million big plans for that foreshore there in Safety Bay. That's one of the big ones.
You obviously sort of, I can sense that you're quite passionate about Rockingham. So why what's the motivation?
So I've been living here for about 16 years. I arrived, I've got 4 children. Just do that on the side. And because I had the 4 children, I had to stop work. And when you have only one income coming in, it's tough. It's tough to make ends meet. And I was finding I was really struggling with paying my bills. And rates was one of the bigger ones that, we really were finding it quite tough. So some of the spending that was happening on, say, trips to Japan or parties and spending like that's really sensitive when you can't pay your bills and you see what's being done with your rates. That kind of got me interested because my background, I'm a chartered accountant and a forensic auditor. So looking at how people spend my money is very important to me because that's what I have done. All of my working life, I have looked after other people's money on their behalf. So some of that was jarring with me. So I decided to go to a couple of meetings, and I wasn't really happy with the representation that we had. I didn't feel they reflected young families. So I decided to put my hand up in 2019, and I was elected as councillor. I was returned again 4 years later, and the councillors around the table elected me deputy mayor 2 years ago. So
wow. So you're deputy mayor at the moment?
Yes, I am.
Oh, wow. It's amazing. And just digressing a little bit, but, you know, because we're a community-based radio station and, you know, we get a lot of people through here, men's clubs, Rotary clubs, people who look after the mental health side of things.
Yeah.
And it's such a huge place, Rockingham, which has a lot of community activity. And you see, like, I'm not saying your community activity, but I'm saying is that I didn't realise how involved you were and your ideas. But having you on the show now and people out there can hear, oh, wow, well, that Lorna, blah, 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 blah. And they, you know, and I think we need to know that. And I think one of the hardest things, digressing, is that I got the thing in the mail this week to vote.
Yeah, your voting pack.
It's not easy. You know, like detach this, do this, put it in there, seal it up. All those, look, I know if you've got the time, it's easy. You can just read it. Oh, yeah, I've got to put that there, that there, that there. But in this days of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, when you go to vote, that's easy. I find it's not an easy process, and unfortunately, it's not compulsory.
No, it's not compulsory, which is a shame.
I think so.
Because I think if it was compulsory, the community would have to get interested.
Exactly.
And they would take much more in-depth look at who the representation is and how they're performing.
Yeah.
And give that assessment through, you know, obviously voting papers. The ballots this time around, you have 2 because this year is the mayor's election.
Yep.
So you have one mayor paper that goes across the city, so everybody gets the same mayor's ballot. And the councillors, that's on your ward, which is a district, a little portion of the city.
Oh,
so,
yes.
So we have Comet Bay down in down the coast, Secret Harbour South. We have Baldivis, and we have Rockingham Safety Bay ward as well. So there's 3 wards, and that's why sometimes you got a different paper to somebody that lives in Baldivis, say.
And that's the hard thing for voters. Like now I've got the time, I can concentrate. But you know, like you were saying, I'm just generalising if maybe Lorna, but. A lady like yourself who have 4 kids and this, that, the other, they get this. Do you have to vote? No, I don't worry about it. Which is
that's such a shame because
I think it is now.
Yeah,
but I'm older now. But yeah, true.
I really want people to get involved and to have a say and to make a statement, make a vote. Because if you don't, you can't really say I'm not happy with this.
Exactly,
I'm not happy
right.
with that. Now is the time
to
take a look.
Spot on.
You know, take your paper out, unfold it all. I know some of them might be quite big. And read the 150 words or so statement that each candidate makes. I mean, I know that might take you some time, but the candidates have really all taken a long time to think about what they're going to say, the order it's going to come in, how they're going to project themselves to the electorate. From my point of view, I really want you to read everybody's bio.
Oh, no, no, true. So how do you campaign, Lorna? Like now, how are you campaigning?
Well, I'm just out and about, getting out to places where people are. So, like, for instance, last weekend I went to 3 different markets.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, stand there with my flyers. I'm available to people. I'm very open about my phone number and taking calls from people, and just getting out and going around the doors, knocking, saying, you know, hi, do you know anything about local government? Do you know there's an election on? And getting that conversation going.
Just as an aside, this is purely an aside, I think. I live in an over 55s complex. Do you think for people who want to be elected that they should go to places like that? Or is it difficult?
It's hard because the size of the city. So the city of Rockingham has 155,000 people, about 60,000 homes.
Wow.
So we actually have 4 state MPs covering the city. Okay, we've got Roger Cook, Magenta Marshall, Paul Papalia, Rhys Whitby. And they have offices and staff who are there to take calls. They have, some place you can call in 9 to 5, nearly every day of the week, even Saturday mornings sometimes. Those resources aren't available to local councillors.
Yeah.
Yep. We're on much lower salaries. We don't have staff. We don't have an office.
So it's difficult.
So most of us have jobs as well.
Yeah.
Myself, I'm a chartered accountant and a forensic auditor. So I'm working in Perth, and then I'm coming back, and I'm going to meetings at the City of Rockingham, and then I have one day a week where I've taken time off. I only work part-time.
Jeez.
So that day is my day to go around and visit with people and see residents and see associations and clubs that might need my help. So that's how I do my day.
Yeah.
But anybody that's a new candidate, they're probably working full-time, I would say.
Jeez,
And
tough gig.
so then the chances of them getting around to knock on everybody's door are fairly minimal.
Yeah. So as a councillor, what has been your biggest achievement?
So I've probably got two perspectives to this. My personal achievements after being elected to council, about improving myself. I'm an avid learner. So I did do my diploma in local government, which I thoroughly enjoyed. It gave me a good grounding in the legal aspects for council and councillors, and learning what council can and can't do, and how everybody's roles work together and complement each other within the organisation. And from ratepayers' point of view, I've spent a lot of time making sure that the policies we have in place, our council policies, are fit for purpose and meet with the community's aims and goals. So sometimes policy making can be a bit dry, but it's it's massive. I cannot explain to you how important it is that the community views are made through the policies, because the policies of council direct the staff and how we want them to achieve the community plan. So if we don't have the policies right, and they're not reviewed regularly, they're not modern, they're not fit for purpose, we're going to miss. There's going to be a mismatch between the community's views and what we're actually doing at council. So I've spent a lot of time putting in reviews and comments into these policies, and even rewriting some of them so that they meet with the community's expectations.
AUKUS?
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
Well, I'm quite excited. My eldest is in the Navy. He's an officer in the Navy. He's stationed at the moment in Cairns, and he's actually got some leave. So after this, I'm going to go and pick him up from the train station. So I'm really looking forward to seeing him. I haven't seen him since July. So he's on surface ships. And my daughter's just got a scholarship to TAFE in a Women in Defence course.
Wow.
Yeah, she hadn't made up her mind what she wanted to do, and I said, well, while you're making up your mind, have a look at this, because there's so much work coming to Henderson.
Yeah.
They're looking for 20,000 workers for the shipbuilding and the ship maintenance.
20,000?
20,000, yep. There's going to be 30 years of work out at Henderson. So for our young people here, the opportunities are really, really amazing. It's huge. It's going to transform Rockingham as we know it. And my youngest is in Navy Cadets, and he's desperate to join up. He wants to be a Marine Tech on subs.
Jeez.
Yeah, so, I mean, I get that there are different views and opinions out there in the community, as there is with everything.
That is quite correct, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know?
But essentially, defence is a federal project, and AUKUS will happen, and the nuclear-powered submarines, they will be here. They'll be here in 2027 when the rotational force starts, and that's when we have UK and US subs here. With their personnel. So there'll be people living here in Rockingham to service those submarines. I think it'll be about 1,000 to start with, the figures that are being given in 2027. Some of them will come with their families because they'll be stationed here for, say, 2-3 years. So it's going to be really exciting to see all these American uniforms, walking about. I was just wondering how many, new American barbecue restaurants we're going to get. maybe tie those two together and get Railway Terrace.
Look, I agree. It's I think sometimes as people live day to day, and I understand that, but sometimes it's like, I've grown up a little bit older than yourself. You see a suburb and you think, nobody's going to buy out there. It's too far out. Mm-hmm. And then 5 years, 10 years later, that's almost like an inner suburb,
yes.
So, I just think that if people could see what is going to happen in Rockingham and grasp it, but it's hard, easier said than done.
Yeah. So obviously I've got children in the Navy, wanting to join Navy, wanting to go into defence industries. It's very important to me that this all goes well for the community here. And they talk about investing 8 billion on the island and 12 billion at Henderson. But what I want to do as mayor is be there for the people of Rockingham to make sure that interface it works. And that means the roads into and off of the base, the housing, so working, with Defence Force housing, obviously hospitals and schools.
Schools, so they're huge.
Yep, these are all state government portfolios. So it's important that we develop the relationships with our state and federal members, and that we're able to sit down at the table and explain, what's important to the community. I'm sure they know they're elected here as well. But to facilitate all of that, and that's multi-agency stuff. And it doesn't happen quickly. So as soon as you've got multiple agencies involved, everybody has to have time, to prepare their plans and put them in place and work together, hopefully in a collaborative way, so that the people of Rockingham aren't negatively impacted by any of this. Because what I'd hate to see is for our young people not to have the opportunities.
Exactly.
So getting those TAFE training places, not the City of Rockingham responsibility, but the mayor can be there to obviously advocate and raise that voice and make that a loud ask, is that the opportunities are there for our young people and perhaps people who want to change careers as well, because they will need a lot of people, 20,000 people. Wow. Yeah. And of housing, homelessness is a big issue. Housing affordability is a big issue. Yeah. So the city has a role in planning, in our planning scheme, and allowing, for builds and how quickly we process applications for buildings and how quickly we are able to assist in any way to allow that Defence Force housing and additional housing as well for the service people who will have to come to service an enlarged population. Because it's not just the Navy personnel, because those Navy personnel will want haircuts and dentists.
That's it, isn't it? That's what I don't think people like the ripple effect.
Yeah, it's a trickle down, yeah.
Penguins?
Oh, I love penguins.
So, what do you think about the penguin issue, for want of a better word?
So the population has suffered greatly, and there's a lot of reasons as to why. And the city do contribute towards studies. We have Belinda Cannell at UWA. She does a population study once a year, and those results have just come out, and I think we're down to about 97 penguins on Penguin Island. There are other penguins that live on Garden Island. They're doing quite well. But the Garden Island, there's a number of reasons. This, obviously, the rising water temperature has meant that there aren't the grasses for the small fish to hide in, and penguins feed on them. So there's food scarcity. They pick up a lot of the deceased penguins, and they do autopsies on them. And a lot of them, 30% of them, have died from boat strikes in the marine park. So the speed of the boats in the marine park is affecting them. The tourism side of things. I I went to Cresswell when my son passed out in the Navy. That's where they train the officers. While I was there, I did have a tour, and there's an island there in Jervis Bay with 20,000 penguins, but they don't allow people on the island. And then you've got Phillip Island as well. A portion of that is sectioned off just for the penguins. Our Penguin Island, there is no area where people are not allowed to go. So I think that, as a city, the penguin is our emblem. It's very important to everybody here. And it's time, we have positions of council where we have asked for a penguin management plan. We've asked for an independent scientific committee. They're preparing a report at the moment. We've asked for funding for that plan to be implemented. So again, that's an advocacy position. Penguin Island is under the care and control of DBCA, Department of Biodiversity, Culture and Attractions. There's no direct ability for us to have any impact. So all we can have is advocacy positions.
I've asked a myriad of questions here, Lorna, and I'm not politically or whatever. I'm just like a blank canvas. I listen to whoever, and then I make up my mind. Same with federal politics or any politics.
Yes,
I think yes, no.
Yeah.
But irrespective of how I vote, from a personal point of view, I have been impressed by your knowledge across so many things, whether it be the penguins, whether it be orcas, whether it be parking. It's like you've got your tentacles in a lot of areas, which is so important.
You have to be. And any new councillors who are running in this election, they are really going to have a steep learning curve. I mean, when I was elected, I'd been going to council meetings, I'd been sitting and watching and reading minutes, and I kind of had an idea. And then once you're elected, you're in and they're giving you all of these presentations, each of the different teams within the city, and you just sit there and your eyes get wider and wider, and you're like, wow, the size and scale of the operations is huge. We have 800 staff.
What? Seriously?
Yeah, that's about 550 full-time equivalent, but that takes into consideration all your pool attendants who work part-time. So it's about 800 overall. It's about a $200 million budget. So that's a lot of money that the council, the elected members, are responsible for allocating. And we have 37 kilometres of coastline to look after, which is going to be more and more expensive. Areas of erosion and accretion, and looking after sea walls, all the boating infrastructure. What the city does is massive, and the staff are all working, in the public interest. They're all working for the community. I don't think anybody would take a job at the city unless you have that mindset that you want to do something for the community. So it's about us all working together, council leading the way, making the decisions, but we're backed up and supported so much by the staff as well, who are the subject matter experts.
It's I think again, no matter what we, sometimes you've got to take a hit for the team, and just because I might want something, if the council or the greater people of Rockingham don't want it, that's fine, because it's not about me or whatever; it's about the whole community. And I just, now that I know a little bit, I'm a lot more interested.
Communication is very important, and when you're a councillor, you need to consider everybody in the city. You can't make a decision on the basis of what you want. It's about the decision affecting 155,000 people.
Jeez.
And we also have to consider the future, because the policies that we have in place now affect the youngest people the most. So the policies have to have we have to think into the future. Does this maybe look good now, but what does it look like in 25 years' time or 50 years' time? So it's not easy being a councillor when you've got to make those decisions. And everyone seems to think that we can vote yes and no, and it's a 0 or 100 proposition. We make a decision based on merit. And sometimes you're so 50-50. And it might just be 60% you think, right, that's the way to go. But that's why we have 12 of us. We're a reflection of the community. We're elected by the community to make decisions on your behalf. And we don't all think the same way. That's why we have split decisions.
And that's the beauty of it, isn't it? Like, I think, I'm just chatting generally, so it's not meant... I think one of the things that is not good in politics, and if you have one party, either party, so basically you've got Liberals and Labor, basically, I think if anybody has a hold on a seat, whether they be blue ribbon Liberal or blue ribbon, I don't think it's really good in that whoever's has that seat, the party in charge might go, well, it's okay, we've got them anyway. And I think that's sad.
But putting that into context, as a councillor, you come and you represent the community. We're all part of something much bigger, which is the council. And we come with our views and we argue for and against certain things. We take a vote. Once that vote is made, everybody's on board with that decision. So there's no confusion in the community. And there are competing interests in the community all the time. Sports clubs want this association wants that, people in the Baldivis want this, people in Safety Bay want that. So we have to allocate according to need. True. It's the same for our state politicians. They're making decisions. They're elected by their local community, but they're making decisions on the behalf of the whole of WA, and sometimes, if it's a federal politician, the whole of Australia. And although we might think, well, we're not getting this and we're not getting that, it's the same basis that it's allocated where it's needed. And I think if you think about that as a whole, it's not an easy job.
Oh, I wouldn't know.
None of it's easy.
I just think everybody goes into politics. It was funny, just as an aside story, Lorna, I have a gentleman comes in and he was a minister in a church because he thought that was his calling. Anyway, he was a minister in the church and he gave it away after 4 years. And I said to him, how come you gave it away? He said, well, the politics, like all politics, eventually got to me. He said, but what's worse in the church is you have God as well. You've got to include that. And I thought,
What's his opinion?
That's it. Look, it's been so interesting, Lorna. Being able to tap into your knowledge about things, about Rockingham again, whether it be Orcas, again, whether it be parking. It's an eye opener.
Yeah, it's a big city. There's a big job to do. I feel like I have the qualities, the skills and the abilities to be mayor, to take things forward, to develop those relationships with all stakeholders to get us to where we want to be. We need to raise the bar here and we need to say, look, the foreshore area does need looked at. I mean, it's a very valid comment that people are making. And we need to be increasing the appeal for investors for Railway Terrace and Kent Street. How can we do that as a city and as a council? These are the things that I really want to attack and solve for the community.
Look, I think it's great. I really do. And it's a bit of a catch-22, sort of like... I want all these things to happen for Rockingham, but I don't want Rockingham to change too much because it sort of snuck away. I was saying to somebody like, in 10, 15 years ago, maybe I'm wrong, I'm just asking, 10, 15 years ago, people say, oh, yeah, I'm going to Perth, then I'm going to Fremantle, then I'm going to Margaret River, blah, blah, blah. But now people say I'm going to Perth, blah, 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 I'm going to Mandurah. But nobody sort of says I'm going to Rockingham.
No, well, we need some better accommodation options.
That's the other thing, isn't it?
It's the tourist caravan park, which I've been really behind and proposing and chasing for such a long time.
Yeah, that's right.
So, there's an opportunity to work with the state government at Point Perrin there. There's 2 sites available for expressions of interest as part of the Recreation Master Plan. let's really push on with that and get the caravans in here. That would make a huge difference.
It's such a lovely.
And there's some exciting developments happening down at the foreshore. Secret squirrel, but watch this space.
There you go. You see, I've learned so much. Now, Lorna, if people want to get in touch with you, I think it's very important, people out there, that, Lorna makes the time to come in. From what I've chatted to her, she seems very open, quite happy to... Your Facebook, you're on Facebook?
Yeah, I'm on Facebook, Lorna for Mayor. I have a website that I've set up for the elections to try and explain to people sort of my why, my reasons for running. And that's lornaformayor.com.au.
Lorna for... Oh, one word? lornaformayor.com.au. Yep.
And obviously my contact information, my phone number is on, and my email is on all the ballot information in the pack. I do try my hardest to get back to you as soon as I can, but obviously I have, children, work, and other things. And sometimes if I'm in a market speaking to people face to face, I can't be at home on my computer. So it's like, where do you want me to be?
I think the important thing is that if you get back to people, because it can't be instantaneous. Like if somebody's trying to contact you now, you can't go back because you're on the air. But I would think, maybe you can get back to them within a day. I think maybe that's a reasonable time frame. And if you're prepared to put that out there and give your phone number, people out there can ring you because...
But I have such great conversations with people when they phone me up. They phone me up for one reason and we end up talking about all sorts of things.
Oh, that's great.
There's so many interesting people out there and so many wise heads.
There is.
I'm not going to be able to solve all the problems of Rockingham myself. It's going to take a community to do that. So the more I hear from people who have experience in different fields, I'm like, I never thought of that.
Yeah, that's great, isn't it? That's keeping an open mind.
Yeah,
and that's the best thing about no matter what we do in life. Yeah. You might not agree, and then somebody says, have you thought of it that way? Oh, yeah, actually, you're right. Yeah. But keep your mind open. Look, I wish you all the best. October is the day, isn't it?
Yeah, so the voting packs are starting to come out now. Some have them and some are still waiting. And then I'm getting phone calls, my pack hasn't arrived. I was like, just hang on. Yeah. If you haven't got your pack, say by the start of October, you can go down into the city administration building and pick one up there and post it in the ballot box at the city.
Oh, can you?
Yep. Or the final date for posting would be around about the 13th of October. But if you really want your vote to count, get it down to the administration building, use the ballot box there. Yep. And the count nights is on the 18th of October. Saturday night starts at 6 p.m. And I think it might take them a couple of days to count all those ballots. And
wow. So it won't be a party at your place then until after the ballots are counted. I'm just waiting for a bit of Scotch whiskey.
Well, I think there will be a party at my place at 6 p.m. because that means, we've obviously finished the campaign. Yeah. It's been a massive task. The city is huge. Yeah. I have to thank my husband and my family and all my volunteers and supporters out there. You are all doing a fantastic job. Yep. I could not do it without them. Yeah. And, obviously there's other councillors who are supporting me, giving me all the help they can too. That's great. So that's really heartening. Sometimes you just have to sit back and, have a glass of wine and laugh at some of the commentary on social media.
Yeah. And sorry, I'm probably going on a little bit too long, but it's not funny. It's ironic that, that man in America who got shot at and died. Yeah. His views are his views. And I'm not arguing whether they're right or wrong. They're his views. But nobody deserves to be shot for their views. No. And
just have a bit of kindness.
I think that's what it is. Honestly, really. You can have I might disagree with you a lot, but I can be kind to you and you can be kind to me,
I just switch off.
Yeah, and good on you, really, because at the end of the day, you've got a life to lead and you've got 4 kids and a husband and you want an enjoyable family life and an enjoyable life, whereas always trying to achieve as well. Yeah. I admire you for that. Yeah,
a sit-down family meal is a rare occurrence these days, but it's really special when it happens, when everybody's around, and hopefully with my son Andrew coming back down from Cairns, who's on HMAS.
Oh, that's great.
Hopefully we'll have a good family dinner, and that will be...
What's a good Scottish family dinner?
Roast anything.
Oh, really?
Yes. Yeah. Roast potatoes and all the veggies and gravy. That's my favourite, because it's easy. You just whack it in the oven.
You do. Thanks again, Lorna. Look, I wish you all the best.
Yeah.
Thank you for taking the time to come in and chat to us. Again, I go away and I'm a little bit more enlightened than I was before.
Okay,
so
sure
thanks
thing.
very much. And I do know that you do like teddy swims.
I do.
So we'll whack a teddy swim so on.
Thank you.